in singing our national anthem. The invocation will be given by Professor Beru Sukwal of the Department of Geosciences.
I am neither a priest nor a minister. My upbringing taught me to be tolerant to others and respect for all people, and I believe truth is God. I'm going to recite verses in Sanskrit that were written about 4,000 years ago and their English interpretation. It's not the real translation. Tumeva matasya pita tameva, tumeva bandhusya sakha tameva, tumeva vidyam dravinam tameva, tameva sarvam mama deva deva. Almighty, you are our mother and father, you are our brother and friend, you are our knowledge and wealth, you are everything to us. The next verse is taken from Mahabharata. This is also English interpretation. Let us overcome the angry man with gentleness, the evil man with goodness, the miser with generosity, a liar with truth. This is from Mahabharata. And the last verse, Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, Shiva the destroyer of evil, Saraswati the goddess of knowledge and wisdom, Lakshmi the goddess of wealth and prosperity, may guide our path.
Please be seated. Faculty, students, parents and relatives, distinguished guests, and friends of the university, I am delighted to welcome you to this, the 146th commencement of the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. This year, we celebrate both the 152nd anniversary of the founding of the Platteville Academy, the great-grandparent of today's University of Wisconsin-Platteville, and the 125th anniversary of the founding, again at Platteville, of the first of what are today the 11 comprehensive universities of the University of Wisconsin system. During these years, more than 30,000 students have received their degrees from us, and this afternoon, more than 650 degrees will be conferred. We dedicate today's ceremony to the memory of Georgianne Freudenreich, an assistant professor in the College of Education at the time of her death in June of 1990. She served well this university for 28 years and made a major and generous bequest to the university upon her death. Faculty, students, and staff join in grieving her loss. The senior valedictory will be delivered by Susan Jane Keyes, a summa cum laude graduate of the College of Arts and Sciences. Ms. Keyes is a non-traditional student, married and the mother of 5 children, who came to study at UW-Platteville while successfully balancing her other responsibilities. She's a resident of Platteville. She will today receive a Bachelor of Science degree in English with secondary education certification and a minor in journalism. Among Ms. Keyes' many honors and awards are membership in Phi Kappa Phi, the University Honor Society, Kappa Delta Pi, the Education Honor Society, and the National Council of Teachers of English. She has achieved Chancellor's Honors and the Dean's List. She has received the Marjorie Huguenin Scholarship twice, the Antoinette Durant Award, the Education Department Scholarship, and the Creative Writing Contest Award also twice. While a student at UWP, Ms. Keyes has been a prize-winning member of the staff of The Exponent, the student newspaper, and a successful freelance writer. She has had an article published in Wisconsin Women magazine, as well as poetry in the Wisconsin Academy Review. Following graduation, Ms. Keyes will go on to a career teaching English at the junior or senior high school level. It's my pleasure to present to you Ms. Susan Keyes.
Thank you and good afternoon, Chancellor Schmerney, Vice President Porch, faculty, graduates, and their proud families and friends. It is truly an honor for me to be able to address you today on this long-awaited occasion. I don't know about the rest of you graduates, but I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. 5 years ago, I had a dream. Though not as far-reaching as that of Martin Luther King's, my dream to someday graduate from the University of Wisconsin-Platteville seemed very distant and almost unreachable at the time. As a 32-year-old farm wife and mother of 5 children, I was apprehensive about starting college and found it to be foreign and somewhat frightening. I remember sitting down in my second class of the first day and being very nervous and self-conscious about my age. I tried to be inconspicuous and fit in, but my fears were realized when a young man turned to me and politely asked, "Ma'am, do you have a pencil I could borrow?" Despite my inhibitions, I bought myself a backpack, slung it over my shoulder, and adjusted to the hectic life of a non-traditional student. It helped when I found other late bloomers like myself trying to attend classes as well as study and care for a family at the same time. We shared class notes, study tips, quick-to-fix recipes, and occasionally an aspirin. After classes, while everyone else was talking about where the good parties were going to be, we would find ourselves discussing the piles of laundry and numerous responsibilities that awaited us at home. Why did I take on this extra work of going back to school? I don't think I really knew at the time, other than I felt the need to do so. I know a lot of people thought I was crazy for taking this on and didn't approve, and even I wondered. It had been 15 years since I'd been in the classroom, but I had to try, and once I started, I knew I couldn't quit. My feelings are probably best described in a quote by English psychologist Joanna Field. I began to have an idea of my life, not as the slow shaping of achievement to fit my preconceived purposes, but as the gradual discovery and growth of a purpose which I did not know. For me, it was in my women's literature class that I finally discovered the reason for my returning to school. It was in reading this literature that I found other women who felt like me, and it was here that I began to realize that people, both men and women, should not live their lives fulfilling appropriate social images at the expense of their true natures. For women who are wives and mothers, this can be an especially hard task. Society tells us that family's care is primarily our responsibility. So once we take on motherhood, that is to become our whole reason for living. But this can be dangerous because if we don't have a self, some sort of an identity besides motherhood, what are we to give our children? If we are happy and fulfilled as individuals, aren't we going to be better mothers? Naturally, not everyone's fulfillment is going to come from going to college. But for me, my education at UW-Platteville has changed my life dramatically. It has opened up my world, my mind, and my potential. Because of this education, I feel I am a happier and better person than I was 5 years ago, one that can confidently handle the many roles that my life demands. I would like to thank the faculty here at UW-Platteville for sharing their expertise and wealth of information with us. With few exceptions, I found the professors and instructors and staff here to be enthusiastic about teaching and very willing to help students achieve their educational and professional goals. They have helped me as a future teacher to see education not only as a tool to earn a good living, but as a way to better understand ourselves and the world around us. To the students who are still struggling to complete their education, I'd like to offer encouragement. Hang in there. You can do it, and it is worth it. To the traditional graduating students, I commend your ambition and good judgment in pursuing your education while young. For it is an enrichment you'll never regret, a base for future growth. To the non-traditional graduating students, I know what you've gone through to get here. It hasn't been easy, so relish the feeling of accomplishment. You deserve it. To spouses, children, parents, relatives, and friends, thank you for encouraging all of us in our educational goals. We couldn't have successfully written all those papers and studied for all those exams without your support. This weekend is a special one for me because today I'm celebrating my accomplishments as an individual. And tomorrow, Mother's Day, I will celebrate being a mother. It seems appropriate that these two events are taking place simultaneously and are combined into one weekend because that is how I've intertwined them for the last 5 years. And so, we are graduating today with diplomas, better understandings of ourselves, probably a little less money, but hopes for more. And most important of all, we graduate today with self-confidence and new dreams of personal possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Geis. The commencement address will be delivered by Dr. Stephen Porch, Vice President for Academic Affairs of the University of Wisconsin System. Born in Somerset, England, Dr. Porch received his BA in English with honors from the University of Reading, England. Moving to the U.S. in 1974, he earned an MA from the Pennsylvania State University and a PhD from the same university in English with a minor in higher education. Prior to assuming the system vice presidency 11 days ago, on May 1st, Dr. Porch was for 5 years the chancellor of the University of Wisconsin Centers, a 13-campus freshman-sophomore transfer institution with over 11,000 students. Prior to becoming Centers chancellor in 1986, Porch was campus dean of the UW Marathon Center for 5 years. He began his career as an assistant professor of English at the University of Wisconsin Center at Richland. Dr. Porch is the author of a 1985 book on nonverbal communication, which will stand him in good stead as he delivers his address, as well as numerous articles, reviews, and and essays on literature, teaching, and education. An accomplished equestrian, Dr. Porch also relaxes by raising various animals too numerous to mention, possibly in anticipation of the next flood. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Stephen Porch.
Thank you, Bill. It's a great pleasure to be here. Commencement speakers are often thought of as necessary evils, and so I've asked a lot of recent graduates what they remember about their commencement speaker. The humbling fact is that the only substantive thing they remember is that the speech was too long. Their advice, keep it short and sweet, and so I've chosen not to ignore at least part of that advice. Though it may not always be sweet, it will be short. Why won't it always be sweet? Because we don't live in an altogether sweet world, and it would be naive to believe that the graduating class today alone can change that. But let me share some examples and then some possible solutions. Our children are at risk. Today, like every other day in the United States, 27 children died of poverty, 9 from guns, over 3,000 ran away from home, and over 1,300 dropped out of high school. Our sense of safety is at risk. More people died of gunshot wounds on the streets of the United States than in the deserts of the Middle East during the 100 hours of the ground attack. And our environment is at risk. 54 acres of tropical forests are being destroyed every minute. This graduating class can and must make some difference, and I believe that you can. And let me suggest 3 ways in which perhaps you can make that difference, in part because of what you have learned here at UW-Platteville. Number 1, I think you can make a difference by thinking for yourself. So simple, yet so rare. And I think H.L. Mencken put it very nicely. He said there are some problems which are so difficult they can't be solved in 1,000,000 years unless someone stops and thinks about them for 5 minutes. You'll never know enough. For instance, all the previous knowledge in science and technology is currently doubling in just over 5 years. But you can think for yourself. One of the great examples of that, I think, was the great English architect Sir Christopher Wren, who lived in England in the early 1700s and designed St. Paul's Cathedral, the first major building in England with a dome. And he designed the building, and even in those days they had a bureaucracy, a building commission. And he took it to the building commission and they said, you can't build it, it'll never stay up. And he said, I know engineering. He wasn't a graduate of Platteville, but if he had been, he'd have been even better, I suppose. But he said, I know engineering, and I know that that building will stay up. And they refused to allow him to do it, so he said, I'll compromise. I'll build my dome, but I'll build pillars to hold the dome up. And so he built the building, built the dome, built the pillars in the early 1700s. And it wasn't until 1946, after the Second World War, when St. Paul's Cathedral, which had escaped serious damage in the Second World War from the Blitz, needed some repair of the dome, that people discovered a very interesting fact. The workmen put up the scaffolding, they went up to the top of the dome to repair it, and they discovered every one of those pillars stopped 2 inches short of the dome. Somewhere up there, Sir Christopher Wren has his tongue out, and he stuck with what he believed. I think you've had the opportunity at UW-Platteville to learn to think critically and to stick with the things you believe in. And many of you, I think, have learned a very important lesson because of the many academic and other clubs that UW-Platteville has. You've learned to work collaboratively and to work as a team. Those are important lessons. Secondly, I think you can make a difference by becoming citizens of the world. We live in a global village. As you may have noticed, I talk funny once in a while. And when we were first married, my wife, who was from Sheboygan, asked me to help her with the dinner. And she asked me to go to the store and buy some buns, B-U-N-S, for dinner. And I went down to the store, and I picked up what we call buns in England. They're sweet rolls, what you call sweet rolls. So I come home with these sweet rolls, and I'm in the dining room, she's in the kitchen. She said, would you slice them? And I thought, well, geez, in England we just eat sweet rolls, but okay. So I slice them, and then out she comes with the hamburgers, and it's been that way ever since. As Oscar Wilde points out, England and America are 2 countries separated by a common language. And if you have that separation in 2 countries with common languages, what do we have in countries with different cultures? And I think as we look around, we see plenty of examples of where we've become so focused on our own world and our own shores that we have not understood the global village. There was, for example, an unnamed president of the United States. I leave him unnamed because I like to keep my speeches apolitical. He did happen to resign. He was going to South America on a goodwill tour to spread the goodwill of the United States, and he got down there and he got off the plane, the door opened, the band played, the TV cameras got on him, and he got on the top of the stairs. As you know, they always come off the stairs, and he went, "A-OK, it's great to be here." In that South American country, that symbol meant get lost. Actually, it meant a whole lot worse, but And that was the beginning of a goodwill tour. Some aide had not learned enough about the nonverbal communication around the world. And our American corporations aren't a whole lot better. We have living with us usually a foreign student. I had a Panamanian student living with us, brought home my new car, and I brought her out to see it, and she started laughing. And I thought it was a nice color and all those other important things, but she still laughed. And I said, well, what's the problem? And she said, well, you know they're trying to sell those cars in Spanish-speaking countries, and they're not selling very many. And I said, why is that? She said, well, what's the name? I said, it's a Chevy Nova. And she said, you know what Nova is in Spanish? It doesn't run. Can you imagine trying to market a Chevy doesn't run? Again, somebody in the corporation hadn't taken the trouble to learn that and make the changes. One final true story about a U.S. executive. He sent a telegram to his manager in Brazil, and he said, send numbers of the workforce broken down, by various categories, age, sex, etc. Telegram comes back, none broken down by sex. Alcohol is our problem. For these and many other reasons, I think we need to know the world around us and to be aware of the possibilities that a global village gives us. Third and finally, you can make a difference if you're prepared to take risks and to dream the impossible. Most people, for example, remember Babe Ruth for his 715 home runs. Most forget that he holds the record for 1,330 strikeouts. Foolish risks are foolish, but not all risks are foolish. Comfort and material success are not the sole measures of people whose reach, as the poet Browning said, have exceeded their grasp. One final story about a dreamer. In the 1950s, Roger Bannister was the first man to break the 4-minute mile. He broke that in Cambridge, England one night, something that people had said could never be done, hadn't been done in thousands of years. He did it in the mid-1950s. Do you know what happened? Within 12 months, 27 other people in the world had broken the 4-minute mile. Over 350 people did it in the next 2 years because he had broken a barrier. He had dreamed the impossible. It was not because there were better Nikes or Adidas or pump-up sneakers, but because he believed that it could be done. So you can make a difference if you're a true individual who cares about others, who recognizes that we belong to a global society that demands tolerance and understanding. Think carefully as you choose your career to choose one that touches in whatever small way the lives of others. Nothing pleased me more today than to hear your valedictorian say that she was going to be an English teacher. These are the careers which can make a difference, and these are the people who are the real heroes. We are short of heroes, and that's because we look in the wrong place for them. With many heroes in the stadium today who do not think of themselves as heroes. The parents, the families, spouses who supported the students, the faculty and staff who have dedicated their careers to helping students succeed. We look too often for our heroes in sports. There have been more Major League Baseball players indicted for drug offenses than inducted into the Hall of Fame in the last 5 years. It's not the right place. We look for it in politics, and the ever-present television cameras makes that impossible to find. So our real heroes are the people who decry selfishness and go out and help others. Remember, as you go out into the careers that you have chosen, remember the role that education has played in that. Remember UW-Platteville's role in it. Remember as you get into school districts and have children to support the local schools. So all in all, swim against the streams of selfishness, of passivity, comfortableness, intolerance, parochialism, and of thoughtlessness. In fact, swim like the salmon that know no barrier too great to stop them from reaching their goals. For only dead fish swim with the stream. I congratulate you, I challenge you, and I thank you for this short privilege.
Thank you, Dr. Porch. Each year, the faculty and the Alumni Association of the University of Wisconsin-Platteville select for recognition alumni who have distinguished themselves and brought honor to the university by their achievements. Since our alumni include winners of the Nobel Prize and the Pulitzer Prize, members of the United States Congress, and presidents of major corporations, the choice is never an easy one. This year, we honor two of our distinguished alumni as examples for this year's graduating class and in recognition of the achievements and contributions to our society by all of the men and women who have received an education at this university. The complete biographies of the honorees can be found in your commencement program. But it is my pleasure to recognize and ask to stand for your applause, firstly, Ms. Jane Howell, distinguished educator, classes of 1965 and 1969, College of Education and School of Graduate Studies. Next, Dr. Myron K. Jacobson, distinguished educator and medical researcher, class of 1965, College of Arts and Sciences. Our congratulations and appreciation to each of you for the accomplishments which have brought honors to you and to your alma mater. In 1990, the Wisconsin Power and Light Company established the Coffler Excellence in Teaching Awards in honor of James R. Coffler, their retired chairman of the board. The company made a grant of $250,000 to the University of Wisconsin system to endow the award. Earnings from the gift are used to recognize truly outstanding undergraduate teachers at UW system institutions located in the areas where WP&L people work and live. Only 4 awards of $5,000 are made annually, and no more than 2 of these awards may be presented to faculty from any one institution in any one year. And finally, an individual may receive the award but once. John A. Krogman, Assistant Professor of General Engineering, is the UW-Platteville recipient of the first Coffler Excellence in Teaching Award. Professor Krogman joined our faculty in 1981, following 5 years as a mining engineer with coal companies in West Virginia and Illinois. His background includes a Bachelor of Science degree in mining engineering from UW-Platteville in 1976 and an MS degree in mining engineering from UW-Madison in 1984. In 1987, he received the College of Engineering's first annual Exemplary Faculty Teaching Award. During the past 9 years, he has been ranked first among all UW-Platteville engineering faculty on the basis of student evaluations of faculty teaching performance. He is co-advisor of the student chapter of the American Institute of Mining Engineers and of the UW-Platteville chapter of Theta Tau, the professional engineering fraternity. Professor Krogman is a founding member of the Excellence in Teaching Center at UW-Platteville. He has served as president of the UW-Platteville Alumni Association and as a member of the UW-Platteville Foundation Board of Directors. It is my high honor and rare privilege to introduce to you Professor John Krogman. Each year, the UW-Platteville Foundation presents a Distinguished Service Award to someone whose support has made a difference in the quality of life at this university. Joseph and Esther Zapata will long be remembered for their generosity toward UW-Platteville and its students. Between 1972 and 1990, they've donated $220,000 in support of emergency student loans, a writing award for the Geode magazine of the College of Engineering, and unrestricted purposes. Theirs is one of the largest total gifts ever received for the benefit of UW-Platteville. Joseph Zapata was born in Mexico in 1896 and graduated from the Wisconsin Mining School in 1918. The Mexican Revolution prevented his returning to his homeland, so he went on to study at UW-Madison, the University of Michigan, and the University of Toulouse in France. After graduation, Zapata joined the staff of the Wisconsin State Highway Commission. He helped found and was the first chief of materials for the State of Wisconsin Materials Laboratory. Later, Zapata served for 10 years as a research engineer and asphalt technologist with the U.S. Gypsum Company. Upon his retirement in 1953, he owned and operated Madison's first health food store. And any of you who know Madison know that really started something. In 1972, he received a UW-Platteville Distinguished Alumnus Award, and he died in 1983. Esther Zapata was the first woman to graduate with an engineering degree from the University of Minnesota. She was also the first woman engineer hired by the state of Wisconsin in 1926, and the first woman designated as a professional engineer, a PE, by the State Registration Board of Architects and Professional Engineers, and that was in 1932. She worked in the State Planning Department for 4 years and in the bridge section until 1938. She returned to the bridge section in 1944 and worked there until her retirement in 1965. She died in 1981. The Foundation's 1991 Distinguished Service Award was presented earlier today to Eugene Zapata on behalf of his parents, Joseph and Esther Zapata. Ms. Dawn Drake, president of the UW-Platteville Alumni Association, will now present the awards of alumni life memberships.
Thank you, Chancellor Schmerney. On behalf of the University of Wisconsin-Platteville Alumni Association, it is indeed my pleasure to congratulate you and your families on your graduation today. As part of that congratulations, I have been instructed by the Alumni Association Board of Directors to award each graduate here a complimentary one-year membership in the UW-Platteville Alumni Association. It is our hope that 1 year from now you will decide to permanently join the association in our support of the University of Wisconsin-Platteville and its continued success. The UWP Alumni Association also traditionally recognizes several graduates for their outstanding academic and professional achievements by awarding them life memberships in the association. I would like to ask you to hold your applause while I introduce the 6 recipients. I ask them to stand. These graduates, by the way, are unaware that they are about to receive this award. Amy Hunter from Lancaster, Wisconsin. Tracy Husted from Monticello, Wisconsin. Brent Rudser from Janesville, Wisconsin. Kelly Seedschlag from Argyle, Wisconsin. Jill Stoffaker from Darlington, Wisconsin. And Kevin Whitney from Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. Congratulations.
We're extremely proud of all of our graduates, and we'll very shortly recognize each of them. However, I would first like to take this opportunity to recognize a very special group of students graduating today. These are the undergraduate students who will be graduating with academic honors, and they are designated with an asterisk in your program and are wearing the gold honor stoles. Will those individuals who have achieved highest honors and are graduating summa cum laude please rise and remain standing? These students have earned cumulative grade point averages from 3.75 to a perfect 4.0. Now, will those students who have achieved honors and are graduating magna cum laude please rise and remain standing? These students have earned cumulative grade point averages from 3.5 to 3.74. Please join me in recognizing this very special group of graduates. Please be seated. Now, will all candidates for the baccalaureate and master's degrees please stand? This is it. Up. Mr. Chancellor, as Vice Chancellor, I certify that the candidates standing before you have completed the curricula prescribed by the university faculty for the degrees of Master of Science in Education, or Agricultural Sciences, or Industrial Technology, or the degrees of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, and are entitled to receive their degrees from the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. I therefore recommend that these candidates be granted the appropriate diplomas for the curricula completed.
Upon this certification by the Vice Chancellor that you have completed the requirements established by the university faculty for the various degrees, and with the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of Wisconsin system, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree which you have earned, together with all of the rights, privileges, and perquisites attending thereto. Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the deans now present the degree recipients?
Will the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Science from the College of Agriculture please stand? Mr. Chancellor, representing the Dean of the College of Agriculture and representing the College of Agriculture faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degree Bachelor of Science from the College of Agriculture. Will the recipients please come forward?
David Robert Schmidt. Dwayne Guy Albertson. Karen L. Bischoff. Earl John Breaker. Larry R. Chipman. Carl O. Cornelius. Brian R. Coulthard. Douglas Robert Kropp. William James Duha. Kirk Anthony Evenstead. Michael Allen Garner. Robert H. Granzo. Elizabeth J. Eberline. Eric Benjamin Elmer. Stacy A. Yunk. Roger John Lang. Larry R. Leistokow. Jason Gregory Lindner. Wayne E. Lipska. Rodney L. Marfilius. Anthony L. Newton. Thomas M. Nordstrom. James T. O'Flaherty. Brian William Olbrich. Dean P. Olson. Michelle Renee Olson. Francis John Raup. Dwayne A. Schaefer. Matthew J. Shimke. Craig A. Scholes. Robert Sayer Shepard. Lisa Dawn Shibley. Deborah J. Snyder. Samuel Joseph Skemp, Jr. Kristen Jean Spangler. Neil L. Statz. Jill M. Stoffaker. Daniel Wayne Toy. Roger H. Volkening II. Philip T. Welch. Mark D. Winters. Cheryl Zablocki.
Please be seated.
Will the recipients of the degrees of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Arts and Sciences please stand? Mr. Chancellor, as Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and representing the college faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degrees of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Arts and Sciences. Will the recipients please come forward?
Susan Leamy Kais. Brian A. Lutz. Carol Elizabeth Altalibi. Deborah J. Anderson. Denise Ellen Bauer. Paul Andrew Barrett. Robert Brian Behrens. Eric John Bills. Barbara Rockwell Bishop. Mamie Joe Brousseau. David P. Chavez. Anne Marie Chelo. Carolyn A. Cockerell. Kurt Lee Cohen. Marilee Beth Cruz. Heidi J. Davies. Todd J. Destry. Mary Elizabeth Dewar. Jeffrey Richard Engel. Julie A. Engelke. Philip James Foley. Mark M. Folman. Christopher Douglas Faulkner. William Albert Frederick. Jeremy James Frigo. Tanya Laurel Garside. Stephen Todd Geller. David Paul Gempler. Grant D. Gerleman. Vincent M. Jeffror. Timothy Gordon Graves. Lynn Marie Gregorius. Jonathan Hacker. Valerie L. Hall. Jeanette R. Heinzen. Amy Augusta Henning. Deborah Sue Hetzel. Julie A. Holfeld. Tammy Marie Hertz. Todd Allen Infield. Penny L. Eilenfeld. Lisa Diane Iverson. Jeffrey Arlen Jacoby. Scott Thomas Jensen. Charlotte M. Jones. James Leslie Jones. Shannon D. Judnick. Joseph William Carius. Dawn Marie Keenan. Martha J. Kennedy. Todd Robert Kleisner. David James Klitz. Eric Carl Knepler. Michael K. Knox. Tracy Joe Colasar. Colleen M. Crediger. Stephen M. Kerr. Martin Conrad Limo. Mary M. McCumber. Richard A. Martins. Amy Jo Martin. Monica M. McKee. Stephen Perry Meyer. Jody Ann Miller. Lori Lynn Moon. Susan Marie Moran. Jennifer A. Morgan. Michael J. Morgan. Lori Ann Nice. Douglas Wayne Nelson. Joseph A. Nixick. Shelley Lynn Nodorft. Lisa Ann Olson. Carlene Joanne Ott. Joanne Marie Paul. Catherine Ann Pennycamp. Eric Russell Peterson. Hinhelin Fubentide. Tony Ronald Picard. Karen Ann Plemer. Sherry J. Pullman. Michael Paul Pokorny. Eric A. Prindle. Kenneth Lamar Proust. Lisa Marie Pulley. Joseph Edward Redding. Julie M. Reed. Julie Lynn Reagan. Gerald Odalyn Robedek. Carrie Lynn Rotz. Linda R. Rowley. Carolyn M. Scheidegger. Sherry Lynn Schild. Jan Marie Shiljan. Sarah L. Schlew. Robbie T. Scott. Mark Allen Sett. Scott William Smith. David Lee Smutzler. Kimberly J. Sluka. Linda Marie Stombaugh. Bart Anthony Straka. Jonathan Richard Strand. Carolyn Marie Studnichka. Kelly Renee Sweeney. Rebecca Jean Taves. Ellen Jane Vodak. Carol L. Vodak. Karen Louise Vogelsberg. Mitchell J.P. Walsh. Carl Joseph Wendt. Wellington William Wirt III. Kevin Richard Whitney. Kimberly Petra Weinskill. Ruth Marie Winslow.
Congratulations, best wishes, and please be seated.
Will the recipients of the degrees of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Business, Industry, and Communication please stand? Mr. Chancellor, as Dean of the College of Business, Industry, and Communication, and representing the college faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degrees of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Business, Industry, and Communication. Will the recipients please come forward as your name is called?
Anka Heckhoff. Christy Marie Abbing. Christopher J. Abraham. Dina Michelle Abrams. Cheryl K. Adams. Dawn Celeste Anderson. William Reuben Anton. Jeffrey A. Ayen. Yolanda Christina Bars. Diane Lynn Bartles. Michael Ryan Bartz. Dirk Joseph Bauman. Daniel M. Becker. Michelle L. Bendorf. Joseph Michael Bennett. Carrie Ann Bennett. Diana J. Berlin. Michael Thomas Bird. Gerald A. Bowl. Margaret Ellen Bolden. Jeffrey James Booth. Denise Marie Borchert. Susan A. Borowitz. Catherine M. Bosaki. Kathleen L. Bratley. John Adam Bruner. Michelle Ann Brunton. Michelle Bonite Casper. Lori L. Chitwood. Anthony J. Szynski. Thomas John Courtwright. Craig M. Cunningham. Rodney A. Cup. Dan A. Dargle. Robert Wayne Day. Paul David DiCarlo. Thomas Carl Dameen. Stephen John Dishler. John Michael Duvall. Deanna Lee Dockstetter. Renee Sue Doherty. David Vincent Durand. Bridget J. Dial. Shannon James Ely. Barbara K. Eck. Lawrence J. Edwards. Patrick W. Fair.
Hi, Mom.
Terrelyn Ann Farmer. Lee R. Fairman. Troy James Farron. Susan M. Firstel. William Paul Feek. Kathleen M. Fitzsimmons. Kevin C. George. Daniel J. Goodman. James Frederick Gorzik. Bill L. Graffin. Chris Paul Griswold. Eric Norman Haas. Patrick Franklin Haynes. Karen Jean Hastings. Todd Walter Hauser. Dale B. Hiking. Kathleen A. Hess. Scott K. Hetland. Michael A. Hilfiker. Richard Sean Hines. Richard W. Hirsch II. Shelley Marie Holcomb. Susan K. Holman. Lisa J. Holton. Alice D. Honer. Thomas C. Hebner. Corey Lynn Hugg. Martin Luther Cortez Hull. Stuart Cameron Island. Jacqueline Lee Jackson. Jody Ina Jackson. Perry John Jensen. William Robert Hutchison. Elizabeth L. Johnson. Rebecca L. Johnson. Stephanie Ann Johnson. Jason Matthew Jones. Michael Neil Jones. Randall E. Call. Jerome J. Kane. Gordon George Kehoe. Dale Edward Kempen. Craig Allen Glebs. Lisa Marie Kleiner. Tracy Joan Cannonbenbauer. Scott Kenneth Koenigs. Eric W. Kolstead. Darcy Marie Cruel. Jeffrey P. Kromenauer. Deborah Lynn Cruiser. Andrew Dennis Cool. Bart Monty Kundert. Daniel Paul Larkey. Mildred K. Larkin. Michael John Lawson. Timothy James Lemerand. Richard Robert Lenz. Susan A. Lashik. Tammy L. Loberger. Jeffrey Scott Loken. Catherine M. Lord. Scott Franklin Lyman. Joseph Allen Markwart. Lois Eleanor Martins. Shelley K. Martin. Marcia Lynn Marty. Timothy N. Maruna. Monty H. Matthews. Krista K. McCulloch. Jolene Therese McIntosh. Christopher J. Mering. Ann Elizabeth Mergen. Leah Narissa Milan. Timothy Allen Miller. Tammy Lee Mitchell. Susan K. Monahan. Michael Joseph Moynihan. Kimberly Ann Morris. Gary Edward Myers. Aaron Tron Nguyen. Wesley A. Nosek. Robert John Nowicki. Brendan James O'Brien. Nancy Joe O'Donnell. Bruce Wayne Pagel. Lara Ann Pearson. David W. Pite. Michael Eric Podscarby. Tammy Lynn Polar. Henry Jerome Poley. Alan Toivo Popey. Tim J. Primo. Julie Sue Pufall. Thomas F. Quatso, Jr. John J. Radke. Jeff L. Rank. Scott B. Redfern. Michael G. Reed. Melissa Ann Reese. Jennifer R. Reichling. Karen F. Reeves. Peggy Sue Ringelstetter. Michael Blair Roberts. Odile Maria Mercedes Romery. Daniel Francis Rumwald. William W. Rote. Brent Ole Rudzer. Connie P. Russell. R. Michael Sadowski. Scott E. Scanlon. Elvira C. Sheppers. Robert Allen Schmidt. Linda May Schuler. Michelle M. Schultz. Paul D. Schwirmer. Marcia Ray Sozinski. Herbert C. Schumacher, Jr. Christopher Martin Schuback. Kelly Joe Seidschlag. Robert James Simon. Travis Lee Simplot. E. Patrick Sinner. Go ahead. Joanne I. Slaney Tennant. Anita Evelyn Smith. Randall D. Stark. Richard William Starry. Laura Ann Stevens. Sandra K. Studer. Stephen Edward Samansky. Linda Mary Taylor. David Lee Tenpas. Kirk Allen Teets. Wayne M. Tollefson. Richard Brett Trowbridge. Michael P. Uppena. Melissa J. Ernest. Thomas Eldon Utic. Michelle Dawn Veneta. Ignacio Valesco Torres. Bradley Allen Von Buren. Eric Jean Waggy. Darlene A. Wallsmith. Daniel James Walters. Timothy Leo Walton. Lance E. Wand. Ethan Allen Weeks. David Cyril Wepking. Denise Mary Weigel. David T. Waymiller. Daniel W. Winter. David John Winters. Jeffrey Glenn Witt. Kathy Marie Wood. Bradley Garrett Warman. Lou Yang. Corey Joseph Zedes.
Congratulations. Best wishes to you. Congratulations, best wishes. I'll see you at homecoming. Please be seated.
Will the recipients of the degrees of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Education please stand? Mr. Chancellor, as Dean of the College of Education and representing the college faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degrees of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science from the College of Education. Will the recipients please come forward?
Victoria Agnes Finn. Patricia Marie Bauer. Bonnie Marie Bickler. Brad John Brogley. Denise Marie Brown. Lisa Joe Brown. Jacqueline Lynn Golden. Nancy Sue Cripe. Nancy Joy Dalton. Sandra Marie Eschman. William Marvin Freidig. Michelle R. Foost. Ginger Lynn Garwood. Darcy Marie Howe. Natasha Mary Grant Hulsizer. Amy Jo Hunter. Teresa Ann Jones. Rebecca Ann Kretschmann. Karen L. Lehner. Barbara Lynn Leffler. Mary M. Lofi. Carol M. Long. Dawn Diane Laurie. Lori J. McAtee. Dawn Renee Phillips. Becky Ann Powers. Beth Ann Rogan. Erica J. Rudiger. Suzanne Tanya Schwark. Scott Wayne Seitz. Lori Jane Service. Sandra Eileen Skatum. Catherine Ann Smith. Julie S. Snyder. Beth A. Steckelberg. Deborah Lynn Stolke. Dean Allen Tisdale. Wendy Jo Toy. Vicky Martins Wolf.
Congratulations, best wishes. Please be seated.
Will the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Science from the College of Engineering please stand? Mr. Chancellor, as Dean of the College of Engineering and representing the college faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Science from the College of Engineering. Will the recipients please come forward?
John Peter Staub. Scott L. Allen. Angela Leah Alt. Jonathan Adrian Anderson. Peter Stephen Ansay. Christopher John Ashland. Kevin Richard Bader. Brett Allen Badicher. Michael D. Baring. Sharon Noel Baylor. Brian E. Beorgian. Christine M. Bell. Kevin R. Benter. Daniel Edward Borboon. William K. Bosaki. Todd Allen Brandt. Brian Thomas Brantmeyer. Daniel A. Bushberger. Pao Vu Cheng. Gary Thomas Colbert. Michael Charles Collins. Scott Michael Quillard. Randy E. Craig. Peter Thomas Duran. Terry Scott Ewert. Nick Anthony Farah. Dale Jerome Fermanic. J. Dean Fisher. Anthony James Fry. Douglas Paul Glanz. Michael Joseph Gorzek. Patrick A. Gowans. Mark Allen Grant. John R. Grosheim. Aaron L. Ginter. Dean Michael Hagstrom. George Matthew Hansen. Mark A. Hepler. Scott G. Herkert. Paul John Harubin. Matthew D. Heeb. James Randall Hodgson. John H. Haft. Bradley Willard Hughes. Tracy L. Husted. Joel Douglas Johnson. Brian H. Klessig. Matthew Todd McGrath. Thomas J. Meinholz Jr. Mark Cosmas Miller. Michael Joseph Milius. Diane Marie Moorshead. Mark K. Miller. Scott R. Murley. Ladd Eric Nelson. Todd Joseph Niles. Dennis R. Knobs. Joseph Robert Oberbrockling. Beth Ann Ohlert. Daniel James Person. Herbert Edward Peach. Kenneth J. Quella. Deanna Elizabeth Redfern. Marlo A. Reese. Christine Meredith Reich. David Carl Kopp. David B. Kornacki. Benjamin Carl Kozak. James Lee Kramer. William Thomas Krieger. Stephen Michael Kuhl. Richard Valentine Lanez. Hong Van Lam. Jeffrey L. Lammers. Daniel E. Langle. Scott Matthew Largent. Jill L. Larson. Eric Anthony Leinheiser. Dwight D. Lemke. Lynn P. Luck. Peter John Long. Andrew Gunter Malik. Eric Joseph Markheim. James Paul Masterlark. Mike I. Mayhew. Matthew S. Richards. Daniel Arthur Reese. David A. Rundy. Stephen F. Samp. Chris Allen Saxby. Michelle J. Schlesner. Christopher Gerald Schmidt. Carrie Marie Schmutzer. Daniel Robert Schneider. John James Schroffnagel. Scott W. Schultz. Michael H. Schulz. Nicholas Dale Schwartzoff. Fred Joseph Shear. Clint R. Shotwell. Michael Allen Slayton. Rick William Saha. Timothy J. Sorensen. Paul E. Stoltenberg. James W. Teach. Suksalazak Thongsavan. Jeremiah Vale Todd. Douglas Jerome Turner. Daniel J. Vanderheiden. Rick A. Verhalen. David Todd Vokes. Dwight Joseph Vorpal Jr. Janet Elizabeth Vosberg. Trevor A. Weber. Terry Lynn Wernemont. Rachel Ann Wetzel. John Edward Whalen. Gregory J. Williams. Todd J. Wolfley. Thomas J. Wubker. To Yang. Mark Allen Z. Andrew T. Zimmer. William C. Zimmer.
Will the new engineers, the best engineers educated in the state of Wisconsin, please be seated?
Will the recipients of the master's degree please stand? Mr. Chancellor, as Dean of the School of Graduate Studies and representing the graduate faculty, I present to you the recipients of the degrees of Master of Science and Master of Science in Education from the School of Graduate Studies. Will the recipients please come forward?
Sharon A. Adamson. Kelly Roger Ashbrook. Frederick Berry. Constance D. Bowersi. Stuart M. Burdick. Lori Ann Irwin. Maureen A. Guinea. Carrie Renee Gust. Pamela Henricks McKinsey. Thomas J. Hoagland. Caroline J. Hodge. Colleen Rose Kaiser. Christina L. Keeley Wildlake. Paul Soren Kierkegaard. Deborah Susan Meyer Klein. Cheryl Lynn Liu. Kathy J. Loy. Lou Shan. Lu Xiaoying. Michael T. Murphy. Robert James Peterson. Ellen Fitzgerald Pop. Joanne Grace Richter. Deborah Schilt. Neil J. Slew. Alan James Shue. Dan Joseph Skoletsky. Marcia Paulson Soper. Roxanne Louise Sundin. Jeffrey A. Vandehei. Yu Li Wang. Lynette M. Wilson.
Congratulations, and please be seated.
At the close of this academic year, 5 distinguished members of our faculty and 1 distinguished academic administrator will be retiring after many years of dedicated and exemplary service to the students of the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. On this most fitting occasion, we mark their retirement and express our appreciation for their many contributions to this university. I ask each who is here to stand as I read his or her name and to remain standing. Please reserve your applause until the end. Dr. Harold D. Beals, Professor of Agricultural Industries in the College of Agriculture, retiring after 33 years of service to UW-Platteville. John N. Brodell, Assistant Professor of Business Administration in the College of Business, Industry, and Communication, retiring after 13 years of service to UW-Platteville. Dr. Glenn G. Brooks, Professor of Teaching in the College of Education and Director of Educational Media Services, retiring after 29 years of service to UW-Platteville. Dr. Joan E. Orvis, Professor of Music in the College of Arts and Sciences, retiring after 26 years of service to UW-Platteville. Roy A. Shaver, Professor of Chemistry in the College of Arts and Sciences, retiring after 35 years of service to UW-Platteville. And Dr. Ross M. McDonald, Dean of the College of Engineering and Professor of Mechanical Engineering, retiring after 7 years of service as Dean. Dr. McDonald will retire from the faculty at the end of next year, completing 10 years of service to UW-Platteville. Dr. Orvis and gentlemen, I know I speak for all of your colleagues and students in saying that we wish you every happiness in your retirement. With the authority delegated to me by the Regents and President of the University of Wisconsin System, I am very pleased to confer upon each of you the status of Faculty Emeritus and for Dr. McDonald, the status of Dean Emeritus. I ask your colleagues, students, and friends to join me in expressing our appreciation to you. Thank you. This ceremony would not have been possible without the time and effort so generously given by the University Commencement Committee. The members of the committee are Harold Beals, Barbara Doss, Dan Fairchild, Robert Leith, Masout Mazlou, Warner Smid, Kim Tusher, Frederick Tufte, Joanne Wilson, and the chairman, Robert Velzy. Professor Glenn Brooks served as today's commencement marshal. The names of the graduates were ably read by Edward Deneen, the university registrar. Professor G. Daniel Fairchild and the UW-Platteville Wind Ensemble and lead singer William Frederick also deserve our appreciation as well for the music which accompanies this ceremony. Will the members of the committee, Professor Brooks, Mr. Deneen, Professor Fairchild, the members of the Wind Ensemble, and Mr. Frederick, please stand and be recognized. As we say farewell to our graduates, I would like to give them the opportunity to recognize those who have guided them through 4, or in some cases more, years of college with gentle prodding and friendly assistance. Will the faculty please rise and be recognized by the graduates? There are yet others who have provided not only encouragement, moral support, and financial assistance, but care and love as well. Will the parents, grandparents, husbands or wives, children and grandchildren of the graduates please stand and be recognized? Please turn to the back page of your commencement program, the very back page. Will you please stand and join William Frederick in singing the alma mater?
auspicious occasions conclude with this verse. Om Dyo Shanti Antariksh Gum Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rap Shanti Roshadhay Shanti Vanaspati Shanti Veshwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagum Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Redi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Almighty, bring peace in the universe and outer space, peace in environment and oceans, peace in vegetation and every form of life, peace on earth and all around us. May there be peace, peace, peace everywhere.
Today's commencement ceremony will be televised tomorrow over cable channel TV5 on a tape delay basis starting at 7 p.m. The university is unable to provide copies of the commencement videotape to graduates or their families. Those who want to have a copy should arrange to make their own tomorrow night. I ask that during the recessional, the audience please remain seated until all of the graduates have left the stadium. Parents, relatives, and friends may then meet the graduates in the area immediately behind the stadium. Thank you all for joining us on this most enjoyable occasion of the university.